Hello, everyone, and welcome to Retro
Sorry.
Fandango, episode 192. Richard is appears to be in a good mood, so that's good.
I just looked at the outline you sent me.
Yeah, it's got nothing in it. There's nothing in it. Zip zero zilch. I got a few
Hmm.
things around me here though that we can talk about, so we'll see.
That's
We'll
all we'll
see.
do. We'll just pull stuff off the shelves then.
Yeah, I mean, what the heck? Why not? Um, let's just do the house cleaning, and I'll turn off my phone while I do that. Cartridge Club is playing Diablo 2 this month. I personally have been having some issues with that game, but I can't talk about it here on this show. You have to wait until my appearance on the Cartridge Club. That will be a quick save club reunion. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, again,
Oh.
scheduling seems to be the problem. Um, I suggested, maybe we should record this weekend. I don't know if it's too early. And zero bupkis, nothing. So it's not my show, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm just a guest. So RF Gen is playing Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. The Beat the Bandy is Yar's Revenge. Haven't picked it up at all. And I wanted to remind everyone to check out Deke's new show, Thunder Bay Arena Rock. That's the channel. The name of the show is Scotch on the Rocks. And I was on the show on October 14th, and we talked about Sloan and their album Navy Blues. And that was good times.
Sloan.
He's had major guests before me, major guests after me. I don't even know how I got onto that show, but...
Yeah, why is he slumming?
I don't know.
Why to have you on?
Complete waste to have me on, but he was nice enough to do so. Maybe he felt bad for me. Maybe it was a pity appearance. I don't know. But it was nice. It was good times talking with Deke. He's a good guy. Hey, look, we got people in the chat. We got Dean.
Hey, Dean.
And Toku Joe. Look at
hey,
that.
Joe.
Look at that. Promoting
You know
this
what else
thing
we
on
got?
Facebook or whatever. Twitter works. What do we got?
We got matching headphones and hoodies.
Oh, my goodness. We are total.
We're both rocking the gray.
Yeah. I almost bought another gray hoodie today while I was out shopping, but I had enough. I got two, and that's enough. I don't need a third.
I got a gray one and a navy one.
But it's hard to find, hoodies that will fit me that are less than $20 and, that feel nice and fit well and all that stuff.
Does it actually last? Because, like, the one I have feels good, looks good, but the shop I buy this from, they're good for like a season, and then they kind of lose it.
It depends. Sometimes they last a very long time, and other times, no. Like the biggest culprit is the zipper. Like if that zipper's all plastic, it's not going to last long, right? But the metal ones, like this one.
Oh yeah, I got a metal zipper. It's a cheap metal. It feels cheap, but it's metal.
I'm not sure. I might have got this one at Mark's Work Warehouse, so I'm not sure. But
most of the stuff I buy here, there's a big clothes store called Uniqlo. I think they've actually got some branches outside of Japan now, but stuff there is decent. It's cheap. It's like going to Kmart, I guess, but you wear it for one season and it's dead.
Yeah. Well, and it's really the washing machine that bangs them up pretty good here. I don't
Turn your stuff inside out when you wash it.
No, Sarah zips everything up though. She's really.
Well, you got to protect the zipper, but like your jeans and stuff, you should turn those inside out so they don't lose their color.
Oh.
Pro tip.
I didn't know that. I'm not allowed to do any of the laundry, so.
I've heard you screw it up.
Apparently I ram too many clothes into the washer.
I've been accused of that too. I have a memo that teaches me how to do the laundry. You turn on the machine and it does like 2 cycles, like two washes, 2 rinses, whatever. And it lights up a big number 2 when you turn it on. I've said, no, that's not the real 2. You gotta change the settings until it turns to the number 2 again. And that's the real 2. It makes a difference.
I don't know. I don't know how your fancy machines work over there.
I don't know either. I just do what I'm told.
Well, we had today's big discussion with us was our water softener. We have a water softener because the water in Stouffville comes out of a well, and it's a very hard water. So all the homes around here have a water softener. It's kind of a pain in the ass. You have to buy water softener salt for it all the time, keep replacing it. But our water softener, like when we bought the house, it didn't have any instructions or anything like that, and neither of us really know how to work it that well. All we know is that if you set it, there's a dial on it, and it's supposed, if you set it to the current time, in theory it's supposed to turn on at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it does its
Mhm.
cycle for like 2.5 hours. And the reason why you want it to run in the middle of the night is because you want it to run when nobody's using any of the water in the house, because apparently that's not good for it, right? It needs to like be the only thing running in the house. But we had a power failure the other day, and that screws up the time all the time. Now, normally when we have a power failure, we just set it, we just set it back, however long the power, like the power failure was 2 hours, we just set it back 2 hours, and that keeps
Mhm.
the time. But this time, we didn't know how long the power was out for because both of us was not home at the time. Sarah actually had to go to the campus, and I was at work, and I came home and the power was out, so we didn't know how long it was out for. So today was like the day because in theory you're supposed to set it to the time, it's supposed to run at 2 o'clock in the morning, but the time is way off. So we set it, if you set it to the current time, it'll run like at like 4 o'clock in the morning, which isn't good because I get up at 5, and it's just all. So today I was like, what we have to do is we have to set it to 10 o'clock. We set it to, if we have it thinking that, because it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if we have it thinking that it's actually 10 o'clock, then it's going to run at like 1 o'clock in the morning instead of 4 o'clock. Does that make any sense? Exactly. This is the
It
conversation
it
I had
it
with Sarah
sounds like
today.
this is like I showed up to Thanksgiving dinner and I sat down in the wrong spot, and one of my uncles is just telling a story, and I'm like, man, I know it's kind of a social faux pas if I get up right now and switch seats, but I'll just deal with it. I'll
this
eat
is what
my
this is what
potatoes.
happens when we don't fill out the outline. There's nothing in it, and this is what you get. This is it.
I was gonna work on an outline, but I was so tired yesterday, I just went to sleep. Went to bed before my kids went to bed.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
What time do you normally go to bed at?
Late, late, usually like 11 to 12.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I've already been sleeping for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
I gotta get up early. That's my excuse.
I don't, so I can see there's some dust on my keyboard here.
Well, we do have a couple of things. Do you want to get to those, or do we want? I got some things that I could show that I bought.
Oh, I
I
got
don't know.
stuff I can show too. Are you gonna show all of your fancy new HD DVDs?
No, I already did a video on that. You can go check that out
Oh,
on the Buried on Mars YouTube channel. The first video on that channel in just over a year.
wow.
The
What
last
made you
video,
do that? What made you think, all right, I gotta dust off that camera,
there
put some
was
content up
a
here?
lot of dust on that camera. It might actually still be dusty.
Oh, look at that. You got it behind you and everything.
No, I did. I dusted it. I did dust it. But there
But what
was
was the
a.
motivation? What made you think, all right, I got to start putting content up again?
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I can't just let that thing die. But yeah, for some reason, I just felt like doing it. And
Well,
some people were actually happy. They were happy to see me.
it was a nice surprise. I just went on my Twitter feed and was like, oh, new video?
Yeah.
What are you
Even
doing
Sarah
videos
said it
for?
was nice to see you on YouTube again. I'm like, wow, that's something
Oh,
else.
she likes you at a distance, huh?
Hey, look at that. We got rocket sauce here.
Oh, no baseball
No
game today?
baseball. Oh, let me tell you. I know you're really interested in baseball, but right now
Mm-hmm.
the World Series, which is the big, like the final two teams make it to the World Series. And I look forward to the World Series every year. But this year, It is lining up to be the Houston Astros, who I don't like because in 2017 there was a big scandal where they were caught cheating. They would actually tell the batter what pitch was coming up by banging on a trash can. They like would steal the other team's signals, and basically they would just tell, like, if it was one bang, a fastball was coming. If it was two bangs, breaking ball was coming. And that might not sound like a lot if you don't know anything about baseball, but if you do know something about baseball, that's a huge advantage. So those guys are lined up to be in the World Series. And if Curtis's Dodgers do not beat the Atlanta Braves will be making it into the series. And the Atlanta Braves are anti-vaxxers. So you got the cheaters versus the anti-vaxxers. And I'm just not looking forward to that World Series matchup at all. Give me one team to cheer for. So I'm rooting for the Dodgers right now.
Because I was eating my potatoes again, but then something interesting slipped through. So how were they figuring out the pitches?
So someone in the dugout they could see, like, if you got a camera in the stand somewhere in the back and you zoom in on the catcher, right? The catcher is relaying the catcher needs to know which pitch is coming.
He's doing the little hand signal, whatever.
Right. He needs to know which pitch is coming because he needs to know where to put his glove because the ball comes in so fast, right? You need that little bit of advantage of if it's going to be going up or if it's going to be going down. You need to know where the ball's coming. So they're always in sync as to what they're going to be throwing. So basically they were finding out which pitch the catcher was calling for. And then there would be someone in the dugout that would bang on a trash can. And it'd be like, if they saw that it was a fastball coming, they would just hit the trash can once. And that would tell the batter, okay, a fastball is coming. If it was two times, a breaking ball was coming.
Okay.
And they won the World Series in 2017.
Is that really cheating? Like, if you can just interpret the other team's signals?
Yes.
It is cheating?
Okay, well,
because I always had the same thing about people who go to
Dean
Vegas.
And Toku Joe left, by the way, because we only got rocket sauce.
Because like when you go down to Vegas or whatever, and people are playing cards, and they say you can't count cards. If you're just paying attention, I don't see how that's cheating.
Well, I don't know if that's cheating. It's more of the casino doesn't like it. Right?
Well, yeah, they want to keep their odds in their favor.
Right. So basically, if you reveal that you have the ability to count cards, they just won't let you play in the casino. Yeah. It's their rules, right? They do whatever the heck they want. So
I think if you're observant and you see the clues and the hints are out there, it shouldn't be considered cheating.
I'm still here. I heard about baseball stuff. How are they still playing after that? Yeah, like there should have been like major ramifications for Houston for that happened, but nothing ever came. Like no one got charged or anything like that. And baseball is very anti-cheating and gambling. There's been lifetime bans in the past. It's not. It's kind of a gray area because there's always been like if there was a runner on second, and if the runner on second can kind of figure out what your signs are, and he relays that to the batter, that's always been fair game. And the pitcher and catcher have had to mix up their signals, so the runner on second, can't read it. But that's something that's on the field, And if you don't like the runner on second stealing your signals, well, you just got to hide them better. That's always on the field. But then when you get into technology, I mean, where do you draw the line, right? Like, well, why don't you just stick a microphone in the other, in the players, or stick a camera, or there's all sorts. So the line has always been drawn with if you do it on the field, it's fair game. They don't like it, hide your signals better. And that's why it is the way it is. Gary Bettman, look at this. Dean coming up with the baseball knowledge. Or no, that's a hockey knowledge. Yeah, you know what, Gary? I don't know who's worse. I don't like either of them. The guy I actually didn't mind was Bud Selig, who was the commissioner, in the before time, and he actually introduced a lot of good things into baseball. As a young Toku Joe says, as a young boy, I dreamed of being a baseball. That's interesting. And
Thank
look at
you,
this, Chris
Toku
Roberts.
Joe, for keeping me awake.
Electronics are cheating, no doubt. Okay, we can move on from baseball. We can move on to something else. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about your season 2 of we left off the last episode with season 2 of Seinfeld.
Season 2, I'm on season 4 now.
You're flying through it. You're watching it on the Netflix.
I'm watching on Netflix, and after 2 or 3 seconds of the very first episode, I was like, "Hey, this looks funny." It's in widescreen.
Yes.
All the Seinfeld is in widescreen.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand. They don't have faith in people, especially younger generations, watching something in a 4:3 format.
Yeah.
I wish they would give you the option.
Yeah.
Put it in the 4:3, and then, oh, you don't like this? Click, go to the original. All in all, though, it's not that terrible to watch it in widescreen. They did a fairly good job of cleaning it up, zooming it in. Sometimes it does get blurry when they zoom in the wrong spot. But overall, it's not terrible.
Well, that was Ted Turner that did that, right? Because he bought the rights to Seinfeld, 10 years ago or whatever. And he didn't like the way it looked. And he told them, no, go through and edit them all. So, it's all in widescreen. And when they did film Seinfeld, it was in the film was bigger than what the actual screen is, right? You had the safe zone on the screen,
Right,
and then there's
right.
a lot of extras. So that's how they got around a lot of it. Zack Snyder gives you the option. That was a terrible 4:3.
That was an artistic decision.
That was bullshit. Anyways,
superheroes are tall.
There's that one shot where I forget. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, the worst one though is The Simpsons. The Simpsons, they actually cut jokes out because they.
Well, I've heard the same thing happens in Seinfeld. There's something about a pothole. I kind of forget this episode, like keys in a pothole.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then apparently the way they have it cropped, you can't see the pothole. So George is going like this. Like, what is he talking about?
That's bad.
But I don't know. I'm just enjoying watching Seinfeld again. It's been a very long time since I've seen it. But I'm noticing a lot of little details that I never picked up on before. When I first watched the show, it was after it had entered syndication. I didn't watch it during its initial run. At least not until like the later seasons after it had been syndicated. But still then I'd watch it like every day, but like 11 o'clock at night whenever it was on. So I'd have, the entire day to forget about things and do other stuff and watch other things. Now I'm watching them like one after the other. So I'm realizing just how out of order some of the episodes are. And I'm learning a lot of little details about the show that are interesting to me. Season 2 in particular was all over the place with how like the production order versus the air dates. Season 2 is the one that has that Chinese restaurant episode.
Yeah.
And I always wondered, why is Kramer not in this episode? It seemed odd to me. Because there's a lot of potential for Michael Richards to do some weird stuff in that episode.
I think that was the only episode he wasn't in, too.
There were two. There was one episode in the third season where Jerry and Elaine go down to Florida.
Oh,
there's no George and no Kramer.
Right.
Which apparently got
is that the pen?
Jason Alexander really upset, too.
Oh.
So anyway, the Chinese restaurant episode always seemed odd to me. And then it hit me as I was watching it. In the very first episode, the pilot, where Kramer is Kessler, there's kind of a throwaway line about how he hasn't left the building in 10 years.
Right.
And I assumed that from the regular episodes after that, they just kind of scrapped that whole thing because Kramer is out. He's all over the place. But apparently, throughout the first season and the second season, it was intended for Kramer to be in the apartment only. You never see him leave the apartment.
Oh.
So you never see him out at the shop or anything like that. He's just in there. And then that Chinese restaurant episode was filmed early in the second season. But apparently Michael Richards got kind of upset that he wasn't included in that. And then they rethought the character and said, okay, let's start moving him out of the building, give him more things to do. So if you look at the production order, it's just Kramer in the apartment. But because they released them out of order, you see him outside, and then you see him inside and outside. And that's why it never really clicked before.
Mm.
So that episode also was pushed to the end of the season because the executives didn't have any faith in it. They thought this is going to be a really boring episode because nothing happens. They're just sitting there waiting for a table. So that was pushed way to the end. And that's also the season where Jerry and Elaine decide to try to get back together and be a couple again.
Yes, I remember that.
Which to me always felt like a season finale cliffhanger. And that's exactly what it was.
Oh, really?
It was just mixed out of order because then you don't hear anything about them not being together anymore. So it's like the whole thing just, I don't know, got mixed up out of order. And it bothers me. And you notice the little details.
Well, they used to do that all the time. They would air stuff out of production order because you remember Sweeps Week used to be a huge thing, right?
Yes.
So they would save their best episodes for, it was like 1 week in November and another one in, was it like April or maybe earlier, March?
May
Sweeps, yeah. So those were huge weeks, and they would but they got a special guest star or whatever.
Yeah, you position your pieces to
like I was more importantly than Seinfeld, I was watching the Dukes of Hazzard, and this really offended me. I'm in the early episodes of Dukes of Hazzard, Daisy drove a 74 Plymouth Roadrunner. It was a yellow and black car, and I remember the episode where the Duke boys, I think they ran it off a cliff or something. Something happened to it. They wrecked her car, and they replaced it with the iconic Daisy Duke Dixie Jeep. And I was watching the show, and it was an episode where there was like these bad guys that were up to no good in Hazard County. They just got up to no good, and the Duke boys got blamed for it for some reason. It's like almost like every episode that happens. But these guys were off-roaders. They would somehow not, the cops couldn't find it. So they would strip these cars. Basically, someone would be hiding in a bush. They would fire a rifle at the car. They would hit the car's radiator. The car would go off on the side of the road. And they had a sign there that said garage 2 miles. So the guy would get out of the car and say, oh, my car is screwed, and start walking to the garage. And then they would come out of the woods in Jeeps. And then they would strip the car of all of its parts, put all the parts into the Jeeps, and then drive away. And the cops couldn't figure out where they were because there was no tire tracks on the road. They were all in the bush. And they were like, where could these guys go? And then they were running an auto store in Hazard County. So this guy would walk into the Cooter's garage and say, my car's screwed up. And then Cooter would go to the parts place and say, I need like these 20 items that have been stripped from this car. And this auto store would just happen to have absolutely everything that Cooter needed to fix the car. What a racket. Then Duke boys got complicated. Jesse Duke was seen close to one of the cars that was stripped, and they naturally assumed that he was doing it. He was stripping these cars, even though he didn't have any car parts on them or anything like that, but they just threw him right in jail. Great show, fantastic show. Anyways, Duke's Jeep just showed up in this episode, and I'm like, what's going on? Where is the episode where the Plymouth Roadrunner goes over the cliff? Like, what's happening? And that didn't happen until 2 episodes after that. They aired it out of order because
I gotcha.
The ones with the Jeeps had a lot of ladies in it. There was a lot of good-looking ladies in it, and they saved that one for Sweeps Week. Oh, and they even changed the It's kind of ridiculous because the Dukes of Hazzard had like this iconic opening that would it never changed. It never changed except for this one episode where all of a sudden in the opening there is like gratuitous images of Daisy Duke. It's like like every character got like a little scene, whatever, and then it would be a still image and their name would pop up. And then it got to Catherine Bach, and her thing went on for about 30 seconds. And then Sony Shorter shows up and he's like there for like 2 seconds, and they move on to James Best, and it's good times. No. This is wrong. Coy and Vance Duke was not better than Bo and Luke. That is just wrong. And of course, Chris Roberts has to bring up the most controversial thing about Kramer, and that is him doing his stand-up.
Oh.
And Kyle asks if I've seen the new James Bond movie yet. I have not. I'm not ready to go to the movie theater yet. I will wait till it comes out on its streaming service. But I am looking forward to it. I've heard good things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it as good as the one I watched?
You watched the worst one. Die Another
Day.
That's the worst one. I just watched them all up to the new one. I can tell you, you watched the worst one. If you want a good one, watch GoldenEye.
You told me GoldenEye, The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yep.
The Austin Powers ripoffs.
Yeah, and then and Goldfinger. Watch those three.
Goldfinger. That's one. Okay.
But watch GoldenEye for sure. I think you would like that one.
Maybe. Is that one that has like the 22-year-old leading nuclear physicist? Something.
No.
I don't know. That's all I remember is
that's in
whatever one of those Bond girls was like,
no, that's Denise Richards. Yeah, in that was in Die Another Day, right? No, that was she was Christmas Jones in The World Is Not Enough. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. No. There you go. Look at this. Even Dean liked GoldenEye. And he's
even
like anything.
Dean.
Yeah, he doesn't like
anything.
I know. He's very, very, very hard nut to crack, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle says Skyfall is still tops, but the new one is fantastic. Goes places. All right.
Goes places.
Goes
places. Amazing.
Well, where to go to next? Well, I got. Were we talking about Star Trek? Sure. Speaking of Star Trek, look what I got today. Check this out.
Star Trek Seen It.
Star Trek Seen It, the DVD game.
Ooh, look at that. You even got Scott Bakula in this.
They had to pay extra for that. That's why this thing cost $8.
Whoa.
Because he got Scott Bakula in there. It's actually a pretty good set, though. The pieces are all ships.
What is Seen It? Do you watch clips from the show?
Yeah.
I think I've heard of this, but I have no idea how this plays.
There's trivia cards. You roll a dice. There's like a board. This is the short game, and then this is the long game.
Ooh.
And you roll the dice, and that tells you how far you go. And then when you land on a square, you also have another die that tells you whether to watch a clip on the DVD, answer a trivia question. There's a few other things. Go forward, all that stuff.
I hope there's a lot of clips on the DVD.
Look at that. What
is that? A little Defiant?
That's a little Defiant.
Oh, neat. That's worth $8.99 alone.
Then we got the Kirk's ship.
Wow. I hope you're seeing this, Kyle.
Glad I got a manicure for this. We got Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, the big guy, the D, is the smallest one of them all. So wee.
Well, they can't keep him to scale.
Like, look at the Defiant could eat the D for lunch. Anyways.
Wait, is there the NX-01?
That is it. There's only 4 pieces.
So
if you want to play with 5 players, you gotta make your own NX-01.
Too bad, Mr. Bakula.
But I was trying to play the DVD down to get you to answer some questions, because it just plays a little clip and then it asks you a question on the clip.
Let's go to YouTube.
I can't figure out how to do it without Like the audio would screw up. You
Oh,
know what
we
I
got
mean?
it right here. Star Trek, seen it. DS9 questions.
Oh,
Ooh, like animated menus and everything.
yeah. They have that all on the. Oh, YouTube. Oh, maybe I got to put "seen it" in there.
Yeah, if you just do Star Trek trivia, you'll get a
No,
few hits.
DS9 questions. Oh no, that's no good.
That's gonna be
Oh.
tough. I haven't watched DS9 in a while.
Let's see. Share. Oh yeah, no. See, that's not going to work with the audio. Because if I share
All
it's
right,
gonna
well,
the
are
audio
they
fail.
have like question cards? Is there
Yeah,
like
I do have question cards. They're tough though. This isn't easy, man.
I imagine so.
And of course,
Trek trivia is supposed to be
I can't
hardcore.
see anything, so I got to take off my glasses so I can read this. Um, in the motion picture Star Trek Generations, not the motion picture, but
All right,
in
that
the
confused me
movie.
right from the beginning.
I know. In Star Trek Generations, why does the battle section of the Enterprise D explode? Spoiler alert, by the way.
Why does the battle section explode?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. What happened? Did they get hit? Or was this one of the when the Klingon, the Dursus sisters, did they program Geordi to do something? The Duras sisters.
Don't overthink it. Think of simple answer.
Who are the Duras sisters? I'm gonna say
No,
warp core breach.
that's it. That's the answer.
All right.
Yeah. If you go simple,
Okay.
let's see what do we got on this one. I can read the answers just fine. Uh, upon whom does Ensign Sonia Gomez spill hot chocolate in the Star Trek: The Next Generation episode Q Hugh?
Picard.
Hey, look at you. You're gonna ace this. Name the fictional detective that Captain Picard plays in his holodeck adventures.
Ding ding. Who is Dixon Hill?
Did I ever tell you there's a small hamlet near me called Dixon Hill?
No, but that is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
You
we
should
passed
go
by
there
it.
in a fedora.
I want to steal the sign. What brother of a famous movie director played the diminutive real Balak in the original episode series, The Carbonite Maneuver?
Clint Howard.
Look at you, man. I think I would have got that one, though.
Those teeth. How could you forget?
Let's do one more. Oh, this is... No, that's a Prime Directive card. That's no good.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't have any questions on it.
I like this game. I'm winning.
All right. Who played number one in the original Star Trek pilot, The Cage?
Majel Barrett.
That's right.
Ah, look at me.
In First Contact, why does Captain Picard order Lieutenant Commander Worf off the bridge?
Oh gosh, I want to give a complicated answer. Well, Worf agreed that they should abandon ship and stop the fight, and Picard calls him a coward, and then he says, "If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand." Is there a more detailed?
I'm sorry. The answer we're looking for is because Worf challenges Picard's decision not to initiate the self-destruct sequence.
But yeah,
I don't know if that's what you said. I don't know.
In so many words.
I don't know if I can give you. Look at the Tokuju understands a small D problem.
So who are you going to play this game with?
Well, I asked Sarah, and she said she would play it with me, but I think she was lying. I think she's lying. I was hoping to maybe we could set it up that I could play it with you online, but I'm not sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure you just got your $8.99's worth showing it off.
It was only $8. Thank you very much. It was only $8.
Okay. That's a good $8. Though.
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of thing you can just sit there and look through the trivia cards. Like,
that's pretty much all I'll do, man. That's I don't
bring them to work with you and just ask people who walk by.
There's nobody at work. There's just me. This pandemic has to end before they or anyone else shows up.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle would like to play along. Okay,
Yeah.
Kyle, I'll do a question. Richard, don't answer this question.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll let Kyle answer this in the chat. Let's see. What the heck? Okay, in Insurrection, what substance used by the Dominion have the Sonya manufactured? Was the Dominion an Insurrection? I don't even remember that.
It's not the DS9 Dominion, but the Sonya. They're the stretchy face people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the thing
What
is called.
substance used by the Dominion have the Sonya manufactured?
Oh, or maybe it is a substance that's referenced in Deep Space Nine.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So answer that question, Kyle. And don't look it up online. Don't be Googling. You got to go off the top of your head. Actually, come to think of it, there was only one substance that the Dominion ever used that they ever talked about in the show. So.
Tetrasil White.
You're not supposed to answer. You're supposed to let Kyle answer. He only seen the movie once. He doesn't know it. All right. Yeah, it's the white stuff. I would have given you the white stuff.
Is that, I mean, were they using that in that movie?
I don't remember them using it in the movie, but I've not watched that movie since watching Deep Space Nine. Like, it's been a long time, like 10 years.
Okay.
You know what movies I have watched recently?
Oh, I got a list too.
All Me Chuckies.
Oh, you did finish them.
Yeah.
Do you have all of them now, or you're missing?
I'm missing Bride of Chucky.
Okay. And Curse or Cult, the last one?
A Cult in this fancy 3D thing. I don't know why the legs move. I watched the legs in the front move. That's weird. I don't remember why. I just watched the movie last night. Then we got Curse of Chucky.
Okay.
Go backwards here.
And you got the the extended cuts there?
Yeah, they're the unrated cuts. But unfortunately, last night I think we watched the rated cut because Sarah set up the movie last night and she doesn't really know about that stuff. Got Child's Play 3.
Mm-hmm.
Child's Play 2. And this I got a long time ago. Child's Play. The first one.
Okay. Now, before you talk about the films, first depress me.
Okay.
How much did it cost you to get that stack of Chuckies?
You want me to give you a total?
Roundabout, yeah.
$50.
$50.
Yeah.
For 6 movies?
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
All right. I guess that's not terrible. Then.
Yeah. I mean, like this one.
Because
the first one was $7.99. 2 and 3 I got on sale for like $8.99 on Amazon. Curse of Chucky. I don't even remember. I think this was a $4 buy at.
Yeah, you're doing better than me. I've been wanting to pick up the Chucky series, but every time I see them, 2 and beyond are all like $10, and for whatever reason, the first one is always about $20.
Wow!
Even used, like I've seen used DVDs where they're at like $10 each. I don't know why. A lot of times I find that horror movies here, especially like the kind of lesser horror movies, stuff like Reanimator that I'd be interested in.
Yeah,
they're really expensive in the aftermarket. All those like scanners and things like that. I always hear about them. Like
they do fetch more here. Like if you find like a rare one or whatever, because there seems to be more people in it. But I think they just make so many of them. They're so common here that. You know,
it seems like you should be able to find them cheaper. I don't know what the big thing about Chucky is. Okay, so tell, what do you think of the whole Chucky series?
It's fun. It's fun. The only one I didn't really care for was 3. 3 was kind of lame, but for the most part, They're fun. They have, especially that Bride of Chucky. They really got that balance between humor and like. Here's the thing with Chucky. Like Chucky has fun with his murders. He's always like goofing around and stuff like that. So you have to have humor in it, right? The series only starts to drag when they start taking things a little too seriously, because Chucky's not taking it seriously. So as long as they're having fun with it, they're generally pretty fun.
Yeah, I've enjoyed all the ones that I've seen. I still haven't seen Bride. I haven't seen 3, and I haven't seen the last one, Curse or Cult, whatever the last one is.
Cult of Chucky.
Cult of Chucky. But yeah, I really enjoyed Seed of Chucky a lot more than I was expecting, because that was a very goofy movie.
Yeah, it gets really into the what the kids call meta, where they're not breaking the fourth wall, but
it's very self-aware.
Yeah, Bride. I would say
once they stopped calling it Child's Play and moved into the Chucky, it's like, okay.
So they did kind of give up on the Child's Play. 3 is like a real, like, you can actually just watch the first one, skip the second and third, go right into Bride of Chucky, because they don't really mention those 2 movies at all, like what really happens in them or anything like that. And then Bride and Seed were fun. They get a little serious with the next one, Curse of Chucky.
Yeah, that was still. I really enjoyed a lot of that. I think I mentioned
it was a solid slasher movie.
I like the soup bowl scene.
Yeah,
they're like loading the revolver, and it's like the soup bowl table is kind of going around like that.
And it was it was a solid slasher. And then they brought it back to the goofiness at the end. And then it's good times. People are asking about the TV show.
Yeah, I saw trailers for that.
I have not checked out the show yet. I've been wanting to watch the movies first. And what's this fun fact? Dean says, fun fact, took like a dozen people to control the Chucky doll. In one of the movies, they do kind of show like the amount of stuff that they have to do in order to work Chucky. And it's like what's that? The animatronics. They just keep getting better and better too as the series goes on. They get Chucky gets more animated and stuff. And they don't.
Unfortunately, the art kind of died. It's like one of the last things to still use that sort of animatronic.
Well, and you got to give them props too, because they don't, other than like a few blood scenes, they don't dive into the CG. Like they stick to having the character animate, and then they'll do some over the head shots where you could tell it's like they either got little people or kids in a costume, to do some more. But it's very well done. Now I'm reading the chat. I think they stopped calling it Child's Play because it was a different studio. Yeah, could have been. I don't know.
Oh, did you watch the Mark Hamill one?
So that's the remake, right?
Yeah.
So that's the one I'm going to be watching tonight. That's as far as I got. The last one, we just watched this last night, Cult of Chucky last night. This is the one that came out in 2017. And then we'll be watching the remake tonight, which I hear isn't very good.
It's not. That's the only one that I'd say I didn't really like. But it's a totally different team, totally different beast. So.
Is Mark Hamill the voice of Chucky?
Voice of Chucky, and he doesn't do the Joker voice. He's got like a unique Chucky voice. And he's okay, but some really dumb parts of the movie, and like not in a fun way. Just
I don't know. Maybe because I don't know if they didn't do very well or whatever. I don't know why they just didn't continue with it, because a lot of series, I find, like any series, after they start making so many movies, it just starts, the quality starts to dip. But they've always seemed to find a way to mix it up for the next movie, make it a little bit different. And I mean, that's, we're 7 movies in.
Yeah. The Chucky series, for whatever reason, stands above all the other slashers for me. It's I guess because it's fun, you know.
Yeah, like it's not it doesn't really take itself too seriously. The first one kind of does, but it's everything's kind of new. And then the third movie takes itself seriously, and it's just I don't know why they even made it. It was just like definitely has the cash in sequel vibe. It's dumb. So Andy is the kid in the first two movies, and then the third movie he's like 16 years old and he's at some army camp, and Chucky needs to, in the early movies, Chucky needed to, if he wanted to come back as human, he had to give himself over to Andy. He had to possess Andy's body, because if he didn't, or he couldn't possess anyone else. That was the only human that he could possess.
There was some kind of time limit, right? Like if he didn't do it in a certain amount of time, he'd be stuck in the Chucky
right.
doll.
So in the first movie, he had to do it before, because as his soul stayed in the doll, his doll was turning human, and if he turned fully human, he would be stuck in the doll. So he didn't want to be stuck in the doll. He wanted to be stuck in a human, and putting himself in the little kid, he would have like a whole new life, right? And so that was the only human he could possess as well, because it was the first human that he revealed himself as Chucky to.
Okay.
Which it doesn't really make sense, but that was the rule. And then at some point they just dropped it. In the third movie, he just like he comes back and he's like he's going to possess Andy again as a 16-year-old, but he reveals himself to a little kid, and so he's like, oh, I'll possess this kid instead. But at the beginning of the movie, he kills some old guy, and it's like, well, didn't he reveal himself to that guy? And I don't know, it doesn't make too much sense. And then this company kept building Chucky back together. Like at the beginning of the second movie, they're like, yeah, we put Chucky back together so all the stockholders will be, feel good about investing in us. And it's like, well, why did you build Chucky again? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
Right. They had like his charred remains, and they're fixing him up.
And they used the charred remains, and it was like the idea was that they would show the Chucky doll that supposedly killed everybody to the investors, and the stockholders would be like, oh, it's just a doll, so all those things are just rumors, right? But then it's like they don't even show it to the stockholders; they just kind of throw it out in the trash afterwards. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, you're not going to the Chucky movies for logic.
No, they're very fun and silly.
But really, with Bride of Chucky, that's where they really started to have fun with it. And that movie, I think that one is, along with the first one, is the best of the series. And it was, of course, shot all around here. So as we were watching it, we were like, oh, that's the 407. And
there's Dixon Hill.
Dixon Hill did not make the movie, unfortunately. But it was funny to see the 407, like all the transponder things, like most people wouldn't know what it was, right? They would just see like something in the background, but it was stuck out like a sore thumb to Sarah and I. But still fun. And Jennifer Tilly, she's great in those movies.
She's fun.
Yeah. All right. So is that it? We said everything we had to say about Chucky?
Yeah, I guess.
So I don't know. I think I'm gonna watch the remake, and then I do have the show recording on my PVR. I think a couple of episodes have aired, so I'll check that out once I've watched all the movies.
Yeah, I got tempted by Chucky the other day in the supermarket. They had one of those little gotcha machines. You put the quarter in, you get a little plastic egg, a little something in there. And they had one all for Chucky. And it's all like Chucky dolls and Bride of Chucky. And I was like, oh, gosh, do I want to try to delve into this world?
Steven Eider would.
Oh, yeah, he would. But it's like $3 a pop, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, I got this one, I got that one."
That's pocket change to Steven Eider. He'd be there. He'd give up a coffee for that. Yeah,
but I hate that vibe. After you get like 3 of them, and you're like, now I got to duplicate.
I got to do the whole thing. Yeah. I asked Sarah. I asked Sarah how she would feel if I got the Chucky doll to have in the basement here, and she's like, "Why would you want to do that?" Like,
would you get the cleaned up one or the scarred face?
I would get Was that in one of the movies you've seen? Yeah, I think it was. I would get the one that has a clean face, and then you peel off to reveal the scars.
Oh, right. That made me happy when they got to that point in the movie. 'Cause I was like, why is he all clean? You know,
Yeah,
he was like continuing the scars of the previous movies. I
he
thought
was
that was
hiding
fun.
himself. Yeah, and then in the last one, he's possessing a whole bunch of dolls. So good
Ooh,
times. I've also been watching some Jackie Chan movies.
Jackie Chan. All
Yeah,
right.
so today I went and I found I kind of got ripped off here. So I found this Jackie Chan collection. It's like Masters of Shaolin, and it has like 3 movies there, and you see Jackie Chan, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I mean, it was only $3, right?
I was just gonna ask, what does it take for you to buy a DVD?
$3.
Okay.
But it's 3 movies all on one disc, and I'm after I get it home, I'm looking at the back, and it's only the middle movie that actually has Jackie Chan in it, and
Okay.
so these other 2 movies are completely different movies or
Well,
completely different actors.
that's Sweeps Week. Daisy Duke getting a little
Yeah,
extra attention.
right in the middle there. You got the Daisy Duke. But you see like this nice photo of Jackie Chan. You think the movie looks like that? No, it looks like somebody wiped the screen with Vaseline, and it just looks terrible. But I'm started watching this. I'm like, the young tiger. I keep saying tiger. That's such a Sudbury thing. Young tiger. Um, I remember that movie. So then I look at my collection, and of course I have it. I already had it, and it's all remastered. It says Hollywood Classic, digitally remastered for superior quality.
Ooh.
And I'm like, dang! So I should watch this version of it. So I take this disc out and I throw it out, and I put this version in. It's the same friggin' print of the movie.
Same
It's
thing.
exact same print. 4x3 Vaseline all over. And this thing says, it even says Hollywood Classics. This
Oh,
movie was nowhere near Hollywood. It was done in Hong Kong. It was ridiculous. But it's funny too.
I bet you the whole thing, Hollywood Classics digitally remastered, is just the name of
Yeah,
that
and then
production studio.
they put that in the back. But it's funny too because Jackie Chan in the movie actually plays a bad guy. He's got this big mole on his face to separate him from everyone else in the movie. And the back of this, like, kind of says that, right? There's this character who's a cab driver. He meets this woman who has this item in her purse, and it's this crazy thing, and she gets killed. So then the sister comes and finds the cab driver, says, we got to find this purse. And so there's like that's at the beginning, and then in the middle it tells you Jackie Chan is actually a bad guy with a big mole on his face, and then at the end it finishes it. But in this version, they cut out that paragraph that tells you who Jackie Chan is, and it makes it in this version it makes it sound like as if Jackie Chan is the hero, is the cab driver,
It's all marketing.
but he's not. He's not the cab driver.
It's all marketing. You gotta sell that tape to people like you walking by.
Yep.
It's like, ooh, Jackie
Well,
Chan.
it worked on me, but I bought it used, and it was $3, and I'm saving the environment by doing that.
$3 is a good price for a used DVD.
But yeah, all the Jackie Chan movies are all the same. They have the Hollywood classics up the top and remastered, and none of them are remastered. But a cool thing I found this for $3 too. This is a 2-disc set, Crime Story and The Protector, and these are 2 really good Jackie Chan movies. Crime Story is like a thriller, and it's good, and then The Protector is just a straight up 80s cheese Jackie Chan movie. And this is a Shout Factory set, and it's got like the original posters on the inside.
Ooh, that's neat.
Yeah. Very nice. So I was happy to find that for $3. That was cool.
Now, did you have any of these movies already?
The Crime Story and The Protector I've watched on a streaming service. So I can't remember which one. I can't remember if it was Tubi or Amazon or something like that. So I've watched them before.
Okay, you just didn't have them in your collection.
I didn't have them in my collection, so that was cool. I got your favorite movie here $4.99. Starship
Hey,
Troopers.
why would you do that though if you
Because it
don't
was
like it?
$5.
But
And
you don't like it.
there's parts of it I do like. I like the
Okay.
commercials in it. So maybe there's something in the extras there for me. So what the heck?
Oh, wish I could find that for $4.99.
I got Dirty Rotten Scoundrels
That's a
on
good one.
DVD. It's widescreen, so hopefully it's a good print. I don't know. It's one of those late '90s prints, so who knows? I found this because we were doing our whole Spielberg thing. I found the War Horse.
I
There's
don't
this
even know
thing
what
too
that
that
is.
they used to put stickers on at the Mission Thrift, and they would price the Blu-rays. They were like $4, and the DVDs were $2, and they just scrapped all that and they made them all $3 now. So they don't put any stickers on them, which is nice. So the Blu-rays are now $3, and this was a nice big 4-disc set.
Whoa. What is the Water Horse? I've never heard of this.
The War Horse.
Water Horse.
I don't know. It's a Spielberg film that came out in 2011. I haven't watched it. So for $3, I said, what the heck? We'll get it. Even though Spielberg's been kind of spotty lately. And I found Hot Fuzz.
Ooh.
$3.
Extended edition?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. I can't remember what edition we watched the Hot Fuzz.
Did you watch the that extended edition of Stripes yet?
Yes. Oh, I forgot. Let me go grab that for you. Watch. Entertain the crowd there for a second.
Well, I'll show off my pickups. I went out yesterday. For all the people that are not commenting anymore and may not be here, I did pick up a copy of X-Men Days of Future Past. I haven't seen this yet. I'm going to sit down and watch all the X-Men movies, but I'm still missing a few.
What comes in that set? Which ones?
This is Days of Future Past.
Oh, that's a good one.
I haven't seen it yet. And then I spent $10 on a DVD because I finally found a copy of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Nice.
And for whatever reason, this is really hard to find around here. And I can't even find it on Blu-ray, but it does come in a blue DVD. Look at that.
That's cool. I don't think I've ever seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids out.
This is one of my favorite kids' adventures movies. I got this because I really want to show it to my kids. They have seen it once before, a few years back. I was like, oh, wow, we got to watch this. That's the kind of, like, they build a giant Lego, and then the kids go inside a giant Lego. There's all, they build all that stuff. I love movies where people shrink down, but now it's all CG.
Yeah.
I like when they make the things, just looking at the sets.
Kyle's asking for a Blu-ray show. Good luck. Good luck with that. Is it on Disney Plus? I don't know. You know what? I think the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movies are on Disney Plus.
They're apparently, I don't know if it's still happening. Weren't they making a TV show? Like they got Rick Moranis back to.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. With
something
that.
With Honey, I Shrunk the Kids again.
Anyways, I wanted to show you this edition of Stripes.
Yes.
Now there is a huge advantage to buying this version of Stripes.
Okay.
More of an advantage than. Where is it here? On VHS.
More of an advantage than VHS?
You can watch this on VHS, but
I could watch it on VHS.
You're missing out if you get it, if you don't get it on here, because the big
attraction... You get original theatrical trailer?
I think it is on here, yeah.
Oh my.
But the big thing is on the inside, you get a cutout of the van, the Winnebago.
Oh, okay.
So you cut that out, and then you fold it together, and you put that on your shelf.
Does it have a little Bill Murray and Harold Ramis that you can put in there, little action figures?
That would cost extra, I think. No. So there you go. I don't even think that's in the Blu-ray version. So there you go.
No, they don't have space for stuff like that in Blu-rays.
No, not, and it would be smaller, right? It'd be cropped. It would be cropped like those Seinfeld episodes.
Yes.
So if you want the full screen,
you'd get the letterbox fan.
Yeah, you want that. So there you go. So yeah, I did watch the extras, and yeah, you're 100% right. They were cut for a reason. You know, they made the right decision.
I'm guessing. I think Curtis mentioned this before. Wasn't it like a TV cut? You know, they just wanted to pad it out to fill 2 hours or something. So they just
maybe.
threw some old scenes in there.
Well, what they would do is they would show like because if you saw the movie in the theater or whatever, to get you to watch it again on TV with all the edits like commercials and swears edited out, they would take some scenes
Never
that they
before
deleted from
seen
the
footage. Yeah.
right, and they would add it to the TV version, whether they were good or not, or worth it or not. So, yeah, there was a whole section in the movie. I found out. Okay, so there's a whole section in the movie where Harold Ramis and Bill Murray go off. They're trying to escape the army, trying to go AWOL, and they end up on this island, and it's like a drug thing happening there. They smoke weed, they get high, and it's just really weird. And I found out that what that whole sequence actually was originally the movie was pitched by Ivan Reitman as Cheech and Chong join the army.
Yes, I
And
remember hearing that. Yes.
it was originally written for Cheech and Chong, and so he got Harold Ramis to write him a Cheech and Chong movie. And Cheech and Chong dropped out. They didn't like the project or whatever. They wanted full control, and Ivan Reitman's like, no, you can't have full control, and so they dropped out of the picture. So a lot of the material that was written for Cheech and Chong was actually given to Judge Reinhold, who was the burnout in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember like it was something about hiding his drugs or whatever.
Yeah, he's it's not a big part of the movie.
No. But that scene was meant for Cheech and Chong, and it totally didn't work for Bill Murray and Harold Ramis. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, I watched Predator 2 yesterday.
Good movie.
And yeah, I hadn't seen it since we did it on Fandango. I was, got to the end of the movie. I was like, oh boy, all right, Danny Glover, he saved Los Angeles again. Good for him.
Spoiler alert.
And then as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, no, he really didn't. Because the Predator, he comes down, he's just killing gang members. He's killing the Colombians versus the Jamaican gangs. And if the police didn't get involved, they'd probably just kill all the gang members and wipe out all the crime in the city.
Yeah.
Kind of just they're perpetuating the violence that goes on in 1997.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that movie wasn't wrapped up nicely. It wasn't like everything wasn't tied in a nice way.
I love the ending.
I mean, I'm not. Don't get me wrong.
Story.
Yeah,
I love the opening when he's just like fighting them in the streets and he's in the car and crashing through the gang members, and then I love the ending when he takes that little Predator frisbee and like and he's jamming it up in his belly. That's great. The Concrete Jungle. I keep hearing that. Wasn't that the name of a PS2 game or something?
No, it was the name of a movie from the 50s.
Really?
Or maybe it was. Maybe they did add it.
There's some part of my brain that believes that was the subtitle of Predator 2, but it doesn't have a subtitle. It's just Predator 2 with sweaty people.
Anyways, by the way, on this Stripes version, you can watch the original version. You can choose which one you want. You don't have to watch the extended version. So if you find this out there on DVD, there is extra nudity though on the extended version.
Oh,
it's funny too because I didn't watch the whole movie. You could just watch all the deleted scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all that stuff where they go into the jungle, and then you'd get like 2 seconds of like extra bush, as they have 2 seconds of bush because they cut it down to get the R rating.
All right.
It's funny though. None of the John Candy scenes. There's no extra John Candy scenes. Everything John Candy did made it into the movie.
All right.
They didn't cut that guy.
You don't waste John Candy.
No. Well, that character was great in that movie. Anyways, it was definitely worth. Like, it was more interesting, because it was a movie that I'd seen so many times and I'd never seen those extra bits. So it was cool. What time is it? How long have we been recording? Over an hour? I think that's it. That's all I got. I got nothing else. Here. We did the Chuckies, the Star Trek Seen It.
In your, not to spoil your pickup video there, but I would say Blades of Glory is worth a watch.
Duke apparently spoke highly of that movie as well. So
I'm with you on the Will Ferrell is a usually a miss for movies. Like 90% of the time, I'll say he's a miss.
I like it when he comes in.
Elf,
As well.
and
Yeah.
Blades of Glory. Those are the only two I like. Blades of
Okay.
Glory will not change your life, but it will give you a few.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll try to watch it on my own. If I watch, Sarah's like very when it comes to comedies.
I think that was a
She'll
case where
drag me down.
the director, the writer, whatever, knew how to balance the Will Ferrell with everything else. And
Was it?
Craig T. Nelson is in it. So,
Oh, well, maybe Sarah would like it because she is a fan of.
he's got a skullet.
A real skullet.
He's got a skullet.
Let's see who directed that one. Oh, it was two directors. Will
Well,
Speck and Josh Gordon.
You got Napoleon Dynamite's in it, and you got what's his face from Arrested Development, Job. What's his name?
Job.
What's the actor's name?
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett and his wife from Saturday Night Live. I forget her name.
Amy Poehler.
Too. Amy Poehler.
They're not together anymore, though.
Oh no.
Yeah, they separated a long time ago.
Oh no.
I was on a Skype call with Will Arnett the other day.
Oh, what happened with you and Reba?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you didn't even respond to that. I sent you.
I did respond to that.
Did you?
I said like basically I didn't see the message until after, many hours later. So I just said I hope you had fun.
So one of my things at work is to set up Zoom calls with celebrities for our entertainment show, and I don't post it on social media or anything like that because I'd get in trouble. But once in a while, there'll be like somebody that I think, oh, so and so would like to see that or whatever. It's mostly Sarah. I sent her things, because there's some Survivor person on or whatever. But one of them was Reba McEntire. So I was wondering if Richard
no. The message I got was I'm chatting with Reba.
Yeah, well, that's the joke.
You
That's the joke. I'm chatting with my friend Reba. So one of them was Reba McEntire. So I sent Richard a message if he had any questions for her with a photo of my my Zoom chat there with Reba. If he had any questions for her for Tremors, But I did you ask a question?
I didn't see your message until way later, so there'd be no point.
Yeah. I hear that she's not a fan of that movie anyway. She kind of wants to bury it. Like she doesn't want to.
Well, she never returned to the series.
Yeah, I don't know. No. Really friendly though, man. Oh my, she's like really upbeat. She is an upbeat person. Like you always see her on, shows and whatever, and she's upbeat. And she is that. I don't know. At least on Zoom calls, she was upbeat.
Well, she's in professional mode there.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. I've had some where they're like lying on a couch. And I'm like, really, dude? You're just gonna lie? Like they're just lying there and they're just talking. Wow, they're really, really casual. I tell you, the worst people though are the like TikTok celebrities, or like there was one guy that
you got to do that. You got to.
Yeah, he wasn't even the celebrity. His celebrity was his dog. His dog was like a TikTok, like had over 1 million people on TikTok following him. And this guy was late and just unprofessional and all that. The celebrities, for the most part, are like, they get it. Like they know that they need to promote whatever it is they want to promote, and they're on time and they're ready to answer questions and they're good to go. The TikTok people are the worst, though. They are the worst. But it's just like celebrity was kind of handed to them, right? They didn't have to work for it or anything like that. So they're just kind of, they take all that promotion, everything for granted. They don't really need our show that 100,000 people might watch on any given night when they have, 1 million people following them on TikTok. So they've already, in their minds, they've made it. But they don't realize that the 100,000 people that watch our thing, they don't know you. They're not on TikTok. So, you're only expanding your branding that way. But celebrities, for the most part, they get it. They're, they're good to go.
So does that mean you didn't ask Reba a Tremors question?
No. I
So
just
basically, you were trying to use me as a pathway, saying, "Oh, sorry, but my
that's right. Yeah,
friend
my
wants to
friend
ask
is a
you this."
huge Tremors fan, and he would really appreciate it if I
Normally,
asked
I
you.
wouldn't trouble you, but
Yeah, I would like me. I don't know.
yeah.
That's not my bag, but he was wondering. You know, yeah, that's totally how I play it. But
In the time since you wrote that, I guess the only question I would have had is I'm curious if she actually knew how to use a firearm before filming that, because she's a country gal, so there's a
oh
chance
yeah,
she had some
that's true.
experience
Yeah,
with a shotgun.
that would be a
But then,
topical question considering what happened yesterday. You've heard about that,
oh
right? Yeah, that's
well, yeah, I feel bad for everybody involved in that because I'm sure there's an investigation that has to go on, but it's just an unfortunate accident. But
well.
that's going to screw up everybody's lives.
Well, apparently, it just came out today that 6 people working on that movie, Rust, walked off the set. By the way, we should tell people what we're talking about. We're talking about the Alec Baldwin thing
Hmm.
because I got it. Anyway, 6 people walked off the set because of unsafe conditions, including firearm safety. They
Ooh,
weren't following
before
protocols.
before the incident.
Like hours before the incident, a half a dozen people
Okay.
walked off the set. Apparently, that's the
Wow.
report. But let me tell you, this thing was driving me nuts. On when did it happen? Was it Friday?
It was
I
like
don't know.
2 days ago.
I got in the car in the morning, first thing in the morning. I put on the radio. What's going on, and the announcer on there is like, "Yeah, the big story with the Alec Baldwin thing. We'll get to that later, but this brings up a whole bunch of questions about safety on movie set and protocol and all that." And I'm like, what happened? What happened? So then I find out that Alec Baldwin, like a person died on the set. Okay, well, what happened? And Alec Baldwin's like killed a person. Like, well, and everything's going through my head. Like, was it a car accident? Was
Right.
it
Right.
the Brandon Lee thing again? Like, what happened? And they're not saying anything. And they're like, we'll talk about it later. I'm like, no, you're talking about it right now, damn it. You tell me what happened. So I
We're
flick over to the other radio
stretching it.
station.
Hey, and what are you doing? You're staying there and you're listening because you're
Yeah, well, I
waiting for
want to know
news.
what the hell
Yeah.
happened. So, oh man, it was so frustrating. And then they started
Well,
talking about gun safety. So I'm like, okay, well, someone must have got shot on the set, but it's just
yeah. Well, I had the reverse. I was just looking at articles on the internet, and the one thing that really bothered me, again, it's all the promotion and clickbait and all that. Of course, it sounds like it was just an accident, an unintentional thing. But every time I see a headline for it, it's like, Alec Baldwin, they have their wording correct, like discharged a prop gun, whatever. But they show a photo of him that looks like a mugshot photo.
yeah,
Trying to like make it look like he was some criminal or something and he
yeah.
maliciously did this, and just instead of saying like, tragic accident on film set, blah 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 blah. Oh, Alec Baldwin, and stick his face looking guilty there.
Well, that's pretty much the problem with news in general today. Like it's
It's
all
advertisement, it's
it's all clickbait stuff. We
clickbait.
got to get you to pay attention to this thing, and then they assume that everybody is up on every single story, and they never tell you exactly what happened.
Because then you need to keep digging, you need to keep watching or
and
listening or
then
reading.
and then it's all speculation of what will happen. So much of the news is what's going to happen. Like they
Mhm.
spent so much time talking about whether or not Alec Baldwin will have to go to prison for this. And it's like, you
Mhm.
don't even know what happened. Like, find out what happened. Like, if like the news should, like, that shouldn't even come in unless he's going to prison, you know? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Uh, Rocket Sauce says, like when Homer got in trouble with the gummy Venus. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Exactly the
funny.
same.
Like that episode aired like 30 years ago, and it's totally come. I remember there was a time when like news and entertainment shows, the stuff that would be on Current Affair and hard copy, they wouldn't even touch it. Like that was just not like Entertainment Tonight. They would never do like tabloid stories back in the day. It was all like what movies are coming up, what TV shows are coming up.
Mhm.
interviews with celebrities and all that. They would never do tabloid stories, never. And then it all just changed. They had to adapt with the times because there was all these other shows coming up. And they're like, well, we got to do the dirt too, and that's all it is dirt. But
Sprinkle
forget
a little
celebrity.
Jerry
Let's just
Springer in there. Forget it. Ever since Jerry Springer, people knew, wow, people love this trash. We'll just smear that all over everything.
You hear any interview with like any of like Maury Povich or Sally Jesse Raphael or whatever, whoever survived, whoever didn't survive, they either went with Jerry or they didn't go with Jerry and their show got canceled.
Oh yeah, Maury Povich, paternity test every episode.
When I first got into television back in the late 90s, I saw Bill. He was already there for 10 years. I'm like, hey, you old senior. But I was fresh and new at the time. And Maury Povich was like a legit TV show. Like it was like a Phil Donahue, Oprah Winfrey style of show where they would do interviews with people and talk about news stories and all that stuff. I mean, it was still kind of trashy, but it wasn't paternity test every episode. And then all of a sudden, Jerry Springer came around and he had to adapt that show if he wanted to survive.
Yeah, I remember seeing episodes of Maury Povich. I forget the correct term, but there were people who were born like extremely small. I forget the term. He had them in like drawers in trash cans.
What?
Like I'm serious. He went into the room and he's like, "Oh, where are my friends hiding? Where are they?" And he's going and he's like opening sock drawers and like, "Oh, here you are," and like pulling them out of like trash cans and things. It was disgusting. He became such a slime ball.
Yeah, but his show's still on.
Still,
I think so. I think it's still going.
Was he like 70s?
Yeah, I don't know how old he is. That's a good question. Let's see. Maury Povich,
age 82.
82, and his show started in 1991. 1998 was the big change. That's what I remember. Yeah, renewed through the 2021-2022 season. Well, still going. Yeah, Rock Bottom, Hodge. Hey, Hodge. That's Rock Bottom was the Simpsons take on hard copy.
Rowdy Peeper.
Where would we be without the Simpsons, really?
Oh man, it's amazing how they still get you to laugh. You've heard the same joke for 20 years, but it's still funny.
Yeah. Oh, so you don't think I should watch Seinfeld on the Netflix? I should go back to my DVDs and see it in 4:3.
It's not a bad way to watch it. You do notice though, like occasionally it gets fuzzy because they're in too close.
Oh yeah.
Or the framing, like even though it's widescreen, it's a lot of dead space because everything is still framed like blocked for 4:3. Yeah. So it's empty, but it's not terrible. But as a purist, I would always prefer original aspect ratio. Whatever it was shot in, that's how I want to see it. The Wizard of Oz was shot in 4:3. I don't want to see that forced into a widescreen.
Yeah. Yeah, that I totally get. Rocksaw says he'd have no material without The Simpsons. Hey, you got wrestling quotes sometimes. I think.
No, he'd just talk about baseball.
Did you want to talk about baseball? Want to talk some? Well, that's it. I got nothing.
Unless you got something. Halloween, everybody.
I think. When are we recording next after this? Is there still a Halloween episode?
What is today? Today the 24th. Today's 23rd for you. 24th for me.
Is this the Halloween episode?
Next week is Halloween, so we'll be into November.
Oh, sorry, dudes. I was going to do my top 5 horror films.
Go ahead. Do it right now.
I don't know. What I'd have to look.
The Thing.
Thing would be okay. I can give you my top 3. Those I know off the top of my head. So 3 would be Alien, the original Alien.
Mm-hmm.
2 would be The Thing.
Ooh.
Number 1 would be The Exorcist.
I thought for a second there you were going to say Ghostbusters.
No, I don't think that's.
Ghostbusters is a horror comedy. There are horror elements in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, yeah,
You could push for that.
yeah. Well, and then there's a lot of horror in science fiction as well. Like the Thing is kind of science fiction.
Yeah, that does bleed over.
So you could. I don't know. Does any Star Trek movie get kind of horror? Like there was episodes of Star Trek that definitely flirted with horror, but none of the movies really got into the horror thing.
No. Well, I mean, they tonally they got darker.
Like
that
the
last
Borg
one, Nemesis. Yeah, and Borg one, they started getting kind of darker. But
yeah, that's
yeah. I mean, the Borg are essentially space zombies.
Yeah, yeah, with lasers, zombies with freaking Evil Dead 2. That's more of a comedy to me. I laugh more at that. Like I'm talking, like for me, like if you want to get into top 5 horror, it's got to be a movie.
Get you in there.
Yeah, like when Sarah says, "Hey, let's watch The Exorcist," I'm like, "Oh man, do I really want to?"
You feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, do I really want to put myself through that again? I mean, I love it, but man, because like I'm not a big religious guy or anything, but man, what that mom has to go through with that kid and all that stuff, it's just, yeah. Although I kind of feel that way about Maury Povich too. So.
How about the Resident Evil movies? Those are
no, none of those.
I watched the first one not too long ago.
Yeah, Blair Witch I do enjoy. Hodge says Blair Witch still does that to me. I did watch that not too long ago. I don't know. I appreciate that movie for what it does. They had basically no budget and was able to entertain you for 90 minutes without showing anything crazy. I can't stand in a corner and look down without Sarah like saying, "Don't do that." So,
I've never seen the Blair Witch.
It's good. I mean, low budget, no budget movie. It's not.
Yeah, I've heard good things. At first, when it came out, I wasn't sure if it was just like the hype of the moment. Everybody's all into this, but
there was like the whole thing, like whether or not it's real or not. And that's just crazy.
I don't care about all that.
It's real. Just... but I appreciate it for what it does. Actually, you know what movie I watched to break in my HD DVD player was I watched Doom.
Ooh.
Have you ever seen that?
I have seen that.
With Carl Urban and The Rock.
It's not good.
No.
But it's not the worst movie I've ever seen.
I remember trying to watch it before and just fast forwarding to the first person shooter scene. And watching that, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I had enough.
When he gets the big force gun.
BFG.
It's the big force gun.
Yeah. So, I watched it this time. I was mostly cataloging my new HD DVD movies into my spreadsheet while it was on. But I don't know. I was it's fine. You got to separate it from Doom because it has absolutely nothing to do with Doom.
It kind of follows that same path as the Resident Evil movies, based on a video game, but it's just dumb action.
Yeah,
and
really has nothing to do with.
Don't get all upset about your favorite properties being mishandled.
Rocket Sauce is asking you about your thoughts on Scream.
Never seen it.
Did I see? I can't.
I saw Scary Movie.
Yeah, a Scary Movie. I have seen Scream. I'm not a big horror guy, so I get that. For horror fans, it was a huge thing because it kind of it broke a lot of the fourth wall with the slasher movies and that. It was kind of like there was a lot of commentary in the movie on slasher movies that people really appreciate in that. And so I just watched it as like a slasher movie, and I don't know, I thought it was okay.
Come to think about it, I really don't like horror movies. Any horror movie I like is bridged with something else. Horror comedy, horror sci-fi. If you go straight horror, I have seen The Exorcist, and I do agree that's a really good movie. But it's like, Alien,
Well, to me, Alien is like that's a monster movie.
It's like a sci-fi horror movie.
But that's a straight up monster movie. Like there's a monster killing everyone, you know.
But it's got the sci-fi backdrop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is closer to a horror movie than some others, yes.
Speaking of slasher, I saw the new I Know What You Did Last Summer TV show. There's a TV show? I didn't realize it was a thing. Well, you're informing us, Dean. I had no idea it was a TV show.
I didn't watch any of those like late 90s, early 2000s kiddie slashers.
Yeah, like the teen slasher. I think after Scream, that whole like I Know What You Did Last Summer and those
that
Final
whole
Destination
crop of horror movies that came up.
Yeah, I've never watched any of those either. It's not really my thing, so
Nah.
yeah. Anyways, I thought Scream was okay. It wasn't anything. I just thought it was okay. But Doom, if you take that Doom movie and think of it as a slasher film instead of a, sci-fi action movie, then it's kind of okay.
Okay, I did watch some.
Toku Joe.
I did watch some horror movies.
Toku Joe says everything you remember is now a TV show.
That's the way it goes. Nothing to. Oh, I watched a horrible movie. I watched a real horrible movie. I watched something called Downsizing.
Oh, is that Mark Wahlberg in that?
Matt Damon.
Okay, one of those guys.
And the only reason I watched it is because I saw it was about people shrinking down small. I was like, okay,
you're big into shrinking people.
I love that. Let me see. But there was no. Oh, this movie was garbage. It was just.
It doesn't look good. Yeah.
It doesn't look good. It was pretentious, and it. You ever watch a movie? Are you okay on time?
Yeah, I haven't got a message that supper's ready yet. So
you watch a movie and this is a movie that is like faking creativity. It's like it's made by people who watch the Oscars and people in Hollywood that want to feel good about themselves. Like, look how creative we are. But they're not really creative people.
Yeah.
It's something like the Birdman and stuff. It's like it's kind of artsy, creative.
Yeah.
And it's like it just never felt right. They don't know how to have fun with their own ideas.
See, Dean, the tough critic. He tried to watch it and he turned it off. It was terrible. See, nothing pleases that guy.
There's a whole bunch of neat ideas that are like, and it just keeps changing what it wants to be the entire time. I am a bit surprised that I sat and watched the whole thing. But in my defense, it was something I watched while I was at work, and I just needed something to look at. So,
yeah. Rocket Sauce says there's a new Ghostbusters trailer because it comes out next month. Why isn't Ghostbusters out now? It's October. Why would they wait
I haven't watched
month?
any of those trailers because I don't care what anybody says. I'm just going to watch it when I get access to it and make my own decision, even though I'm not expecting much.
Are you going to go to the theater to watch it?
No.
Going to wait for it to come up on one of those.
I will wait. I'm just going to avoid looking at anything, even though they keep shoving stuff in your face and you can't avoid it. I now know that there is another ghosty entity in the film.
You might know more than I do.
That's why I didn't say it. If you just see all these still shots that come out on YouTube, thumbnails and stuff.
I don't know if I should say it. I saw someone trying to step on little marshmallow men. That was it.
See, I didn't know they were stepping on them. Thanks for ruining the film for me.
I don't know if they actually did. I just saw that they were trying to.
And now I know that there's somebody in the film.
Spoiler alert.
For all I knew, it was only Paul Rudd the entire time.
Could have been just Paul Rudd. Yeah, it was somebody. I don't know who it was.
Paul Rudd and a little mini marshmallow for 120 minutes.
I actually wouldn't mind that. If that was like if they were like, I got an idea for a movie. It's just Paul Rudd and mini marshmallows.
Paul Rudd in a supermarket for 2 hours.
2 hours avoiding mini marshmallows. That sounds like an original concept, and I would be curious. I'd want to see how that is put together.
I don't know. At some point I'll watch it after all the build up and tear down and everybody's hyping and forgetting and hating and all this.
That's the thing too. Like these movies come out And
I wanna
people
skip
feel the
this whole
pressure of like, I gotta watch this right away. I haven't watched that Scarlett Johansson Marvel movie yet.
the Black Widow.
It was like when it came out in the summer, it's like everybody's gotta see it. You gotta go see it. I haven't seen it yet. It's out on the streaming, so I'll get to it. Now
Well,
the
I finished off a whole phase of that whole Marvel MCU.
that's right. I know. We talked about that
Yeah.
last time, didn't we?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh.
so. But I finished the whole phase. So look
Oh,
at
maybe
me.
we talked about it on Twitter then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it?
because you ranked them and you put Hulk at number 2.
Which is kind of my personal favorite, but I do admit that Iron Man is just a better film overall. I really liked the design of the Hulk from the Incredible Hulk. He turned a little goofier for the Mark Ruffalo version.
I like the Mark Ruffalo version better.
I have nothing against that version, but I do like the initial Hulk design they had. He looked really visceral and angry, but they softened him.
Dean is excited for Dune. Probably check out Many Saints of Newark once it's free, then the MCU stuff.
Many Saints in Newark. What's that?
That is the Sopranos prequel movie, and the reviews for it were not good.
Oh, I just saw the word Newark in there. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I live near Newark.
Yeah, I saw that they said this really was a mistake. We should not have made this.
I thought what's his name died though.
It's a
Tony
prequel
Soprano.
movie. It's a prequel
I
movie.
don't know. So it doesn't have like
It's like
it's super prequel. Like
yeah, it takes place in the 70s.
Okay.
They're all young guys. They're driving around. It's like Big Pussy. And
I've never
Tony
seen
Soprano. The show. Oh, well, you should watch the show. It's
I've never seen the show.
Oh, Dune is on HBO Max. Okay, the new Dune. Well, that might be on our Crave then. I don't know. We tried watching that Dune from the 80s, and Sarah was like, "What is this?"
Dune. You get to see Patrick Stewart going. Ha!
I don't think we made it that far.
Every time they shoot their guns, they have to go. Ha!
Oh my goodness! I don't know. There was something up with that movie, so we did not.
That's a weird one.
Oh yeah, and then there's Halloween Kills. That's the latest one too.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I only watched the first Halloween, and I thought it was so boring.
I am tempted to go back and watch that original one because I know a lot of people love it, and I didn't really get into it. But maybe if I went back, I do like the theme though. The theme's awesome.
Oh yeah, the theme is fantastic.
The theme is like my favorite thing about Halloween. Listening to that Halloween theme.
That was written by John Carpenter, right?
Yeah.
He wrote that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, good
like
stuff.
the simplest things.
Okay, we've been going on for an hour and 32 minutes now. I think we can wrap this up. I mean, we've been petering out for a half an hour. We somehow just keep talking. I don't know how that happens. Anyways, follow us on Twitter at @retro_Fandango. Get a boner with Retro Fandango. Check out our Discord. I think one person commented on there. So, if you want 2 people to comment, then there you go. Oh, Rocket Sauce says the Monster Mash is better than the Halloween theme.
I wouldn't mind a collaboration. I think the two would go well together.
I gotta say, that's not a comparison you should make. I think they're in 2 different genres. I think they're 2 different kinds of songs. But I like the Monster Mash, and I do like the Halloween theme. And if I was making a Halloween mixtape, because it's 1985, and that's all we have, we don't have like downloads anymore, or that hasn't been invented yet, then I might put both those songs on my Halloween mixtape.
What do you like better, the Halloween theme or the Psycho theme?
I think I like the Halloween theme better.
It's more atmospheric.
Yeah.
It's got a creepier tone.
Yeah.
Psycho hits that crescendo with the
queen,
queen, queen, but Halloween is just like, ooh, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Psycho, one last Seinfeld snippet. Elaine's father, there's the episode, they meet him. I've heard before that he was difficult to work with, and that's why they didn't bring him back.
Yes.
But I didn't know that he tried to steal a knife from the set.
Of
Apparently,
Seinfeld?
yes. Apparently, they found him really difficult to work with, and they weren't getting a good vibe with him. Something happened. The actor went to the Jerry's apartment set, and he took one of the knives out of the chopping block there, stuck it in his coat, and a lot of people saw it, and they're like, "Well, what's going on with this guy?" So eventually, Seinfeld goes up to him. He's just like, "Hey, what are you doing with the knife?" And the guy trying to kind of like plays it off, but he takes the knife out, and they say he was like miming Psycho and like just going ring,
Oh
ring,
my God.
towards Jerry Seinfeld, kind of like being weird, but also trying to joke around with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they got the knife back, and they're like, "We're never bringing this guy back again."
That's a guy who just does not know how to read the room. He thought that was going to be the funniest thing, and he's going to have a recurring character on Seinfeld because he was going to be cutting them up figuratively, not literally.
You know who didn't have a reoccurring character on Seinfeld? The first Frank Costanza. Did you know there were two?
Yes, and then they went and they reshot
Yes.
that episode with Jerry Stiller.
Yes. The original actor was the guy who played Clark Griswold's father in Christmas Vacation.
Right. Yeah, and then there was a different guy playing Jerry's dad too.
Yes, and apparently they couldn't go back to refilm that one because by then the actors were like a little too old, so they thought it would just look odd.
Yeah.
But one other thing, that's the weird thing about this Netflix airing is they do have Jerry Stiller in that episode, but Newman, the first time the character of Newman appeared was as a voice in season 2.
He was like, Newman was going to kill himself.
He was going to throw himself off the building, and you
Right.
just hear his voice. And they did the same thing where they went and recorded lines because Larry David originally voiced him.
Newman.
That's the version that's on Netflix. You hear Larry David's voice.
And on that note,
food is ready.
Food is ready.
I thought so because that light behind you came on just a minute ago.
Oh, she must have came downstairs and said, "Oh, he's still recording," and then
I can't believe this guy.
Look at
still
you
putzing around.
Yeah. Okay. Let's wrap it up.
Go eat your dinner.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for joining the chat.
Go.
We had Hodge here. We had Sarkasim here. We had It's Rocket Sauce. Round 2 Gaming. Chris.
Toku Joe.
Roberts.
Chris Roberts.
What's his face? Game Time with Kyle.
For the Star Trek trivia, he was here.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.